Welcome disc golfers to another Discraft clinic. I'm Mike Randolph with Team Discraft. Today we're going to talk about getting out of trouble. Some people think the big pros don't get in trouble, but believe me, we do just as much as anybody else. And when you get there, it's important to have a few key things that you can use to get out of trouble and cut down on the stroke. So follow me to the course. For today's lesson, we're going to use 3 discs. I'm going to use a magnet for a nice controlled slow approach, or a putter. I'm going to use the buzz, get a little bit more overstability, a little bit more speed to get to the basket. Also make a little more overstable cut roller. And I'm going to use a Stratus. Stratus will hold a straighter line with a low snap. A lot of times from your restricted lie, can't get as much snap as you'd like to. A Stratus will allow you to throw a nice straight shot without having to try and overpower it. And it also makes a very good rescue roller disc. First scenario I have is a lie pinned up against the side of a tree. It's pretty common. There's a few problems you can run into when you're trying to play this lie. The most important problem to avoid is trying to play the disc too close to the tree and take your normal throw, and you take a couple practice swings and you think you're going to be clear, and then you go to take your shot and you lean forward a little bit like you always do and bang your hand on the back of the tree. The better thing to do is reach out with the right so that your back is turned to the basket. This produces a little bit more normal throwing motion. You got to make sure you're not getting any closer to the hole. Keep in mind you have 11 inches behind your lie. By not putting my mini down, I put myself a little bit farther from the tree, and then I'm going to take my 11 inches to get a little farther away, a little room for the arm to clear, and just throw a nice and easy normal backhand throw. Now you're not going to generate as much power as you normally would from a standing backhand, so you got to remember to turn the disc over just a little bit more than you normally would and have your nice normal stroke. Always one good thing to do, make sure you check both sides of the disc and even up high, and make sure that you're looking at all your options before you choose what kind of shot you're going to throw. All right, here's another lie we might find ourselves in, about 150 feet away. Basket's tucked up around the corner. I can't see it from my lie. I've got some clearance issues. It's going to be hard to throw a backhand to cut around the corner that much. So I'm going to look at throwing a thumber roller. I'm going to look at throwing a flick roller on a cut angle. I'm going to look at throwing a reach out backhand. I'm going to run you through what I think about and which ones I would choose if it was me. The first one we're going to look at is the left foot on the mini step out backhand. This is good to gain yourself separation from the tree. It's very tempting. You have a good spot to shoot from, and you're used to throwing a backhand, so we're going to give it a shot. And it fell out. It stopped going to the right. And this is the problem with throwing the backhand for this shot. So I'm going to show you a couple other shots, and we're going to try some roller techniques, so it might be a little better to get the distance that we're going to need around the corner. Now for a roller, it's a shot that needs to start at head height or lower, and we have this tree in our way. So in order to get ourselves down and away from that branch, I'm going to go down to one knee, and this gives me lots of room to throw. I throw a shot directly in the ground. Now there's 2 different ways I could roll it over there. I can throw what's called a cut roller with my traditional open 2-finger grip. The key here would be to leave the top of the disc angling off to the side you want to go. It's called a cut because it's falling towards the bottom sides of the disc. It's a little harder to make a disc fall to this side. It really wants to fall the other way, so this requires a little bit of touch on this shot, but it can be very accurate. The other thing we could do from here would be to throw a thumber roller. This is the thumb roller here. We're talking about a thumber roller, the same grip that you would throw a thumber with. Thumb inside, reach down, and this will be the more traditional roller that's falling towards the top of the disc, the natural curve of the disc. You can really make it move off to the right more on the ground than you can in the air in this situation. Concentrate hard, and you want to hit the ground. Pick a spot where you want to hit the ground and the angle, and lock that in. Okay, let's take a look at what we could do from the other side of this patch of stuff. Like I said earlier, it's always best to take a look at every angle possible and see what kind of shots you have here. So, see if we come to this side, there's some advantages stepping out sidearm to your right. when I step out to the right to take a shot, one thing you can look at for a right-handed curve would be the cut roller, the two-finger cut roller. The key here is to land with the angle pointing off to the right towards the basket where we want to go, and you don't have to throw it too hard. You got to make sure you get it up on edge. So let's try that here. Take a legal stance, left foot behind the mini. I'm well clear of the tree. To pull back and make sure my right foot's not closer. Pick a spot to land just down the bottom of the hill. Check the angle. There's less in the way here. You don't have to get in such an awkward body position, so it's a little advantageous compared to throwing from the left side of the tree. Okay, let's try the thumber roller from this spot. Pick our spot, top of the hill, get the angle. Oh yeah, another easy three. Here we are in the woods again. The tough stance. I've got a lot of stuff low to block. I can't take my normal putting motion without throwing up 8 feet in the air and coming back down again, which is a difficult shot to control, especially if there's any kind of breeze. One thing I like to do here is the scuba putt. Take my traditional two-finger loose sidearm grip. I'm going to throw the same angle as a tomahawk, but I'm going to release it from right in front of my face. Just put a little angle on it up over the top and it'll fall right down. Got another challenging putt, very low clearance in front of me, no holes up high, no way to throw a tomahawk putt or a sidearm. I could slide it upside down to the pin and take my three, but sometimes I like to try and make these, and there's one technique that I like to use here. I call it the diving putt. If I fall forward, making sure I release while my foot is still on the ground behind the mini and nothing's touched the ground in front of the lie, I can allow myself to release with enough angle to get out from underneath the slow clearance. I like to start in a very slow squat position and kind of fall forward and thrust, making sure to release before your right foot leaves the mini or your left foot. Hopefully we'll go in. Here we go. There's just a few techniques and tricks that I've picked up over the years that kind of help. It still comes down to execution, but at least if you have a few tricks about footwork and different disc throws and rollers and upside down shots, different things you might be able to pull out. It's all about creativity when it comes to getting out of trouble, but you can keep your head and use a couple basic footwork techniques. You can really cut down on some strokes and impress your buddy.